One of the most subtle dangers that high-achieving women face is not simply overextension. It is the normalization of overextension. In other words, it's not only that a woman is carrying too much. It is that carrying too much has begun to feel ordinary, expected, even appropriate. And when that happens, something costly begins to unfold. A woman may continue to succeed on the outside while slowly losing ease, margin, clarity, energy, and peace on the inside. In this video, I want to talk about why so many high-achieving women normalize overextension, why this pattern is often rewarded rather than questioned, and why recognizing it clearly can become a turning point. Overextension does not always look dramatic. It does not always arrive as collapse. Very often, it looks highly functional. It looks like being the one who always steps in, the one who notices what others miss, the one who compensates for weak systems, the one who fills gaps without being asked, the one who keeps standards high even when support is too low. It can look like managing too much mentally, emotionally, professionally, and sometimes relationally, all at once. And because often a high-achieving woman is capable, disciplined, and deeply responsible, she may continue operating at a high level, even while carrying far too much. This is why overextension is often missed. Not because it is not there, but because competence can make overload look deceptively sustainable. So why do so many high-achieving women normalize overextension? There are several reasons. First, many have been rewarded for it. They have been praised for resilience, rewarded for work ethic, and trusted because they handle so much so well. Second, because overextension often becomes intertwined with identity. A woman may begin to see herself as the strong one, the dependable one, the one who can manage more than most. Third, many women work in environments where stepping back is subtly discouraged, where high capacity becomes an invitation for more demand, and where saying no may feel risky, disloyal, or uncomfortable. Fourth, because the woman is still functioning, she may assume that the pattern is acceptable. She may think, I'm managing. And perhaps she is. But managing is not always the same as thriving. And that distinction matters tremendously. Underneath normalized overextension. There are often hidden beliefs. She may believe that if she does less, she becomes less valuable. She may believe that if she stops compensating, things may fall apart. She may believe that if she asks for more support, she is somehow less capable. She may believe that rest must be earned only after everything else is done. She may also believe that because she can carry something, she should carry it. And that is one of the most expensive assumptions that high-achieving women make. Capability does not automatically create obligation, and strength does not require constant overuse. These beliefs often operate quietly in the background. This is why the pattern can go on for years without ever being questioned. What feels familiar begins to feel right. What feels expected begins to feel necessary. And what is actually costly begins to feel normal. When overextension becomes normalized, the costs are not always immediate, but they are real. A woman may lose margin. She may lose creativity. She may lose patience. She may lose the ability to think strategically because so much energy is being used just to sustain the load. She may become more reactive than reflective, more tired than she admits, more efficient perhaps, but less spacious internally. And over time, success can begin to feel more effortful in a way that is not simply the result of ambition, but of caring too much for too long. This matters because the goal of achievement is not to build a life that constantly extracts more from the woman living it than it gives back. A high-achieving woman deserves a form of success that does not consume her. So, what needs to change? A high-achieving woman must begin to question what has become normal. She must ask, what am I carrying that I have stopped noticing because it has become so normal? What pattern am I calling responsibility that may actually be overextension? Where have I confused endurance with wisdom? These are powerful questions because change often begins when a woman stops admiring her own unsustainable patterns and starts evaluating them more honestly. The goal is not to become less responsible. The goal is to become more discerning, more supported, more strategic, and less willing to normalize what is quietly draining her. So, I want to leave you with a few questions. What in your life has become normal but is no longer wise? Where are you managing a level of strain that you would never recommend to another woman? Where have you been rewarding yourself for endurance when what you really need is support, discernment, and change? And what might become possible if you stop organizing your success around overextension? These are not small questions. They open the door to a very different quality of life and leadership. A great deal of my work is devoted to helping high-achieving women recognize and change exactly these kinds of patterns. Not because they are weak, not because they're doing everything wrong, but because many exceptional women have learned to function inside of unsustainable patterns so well that these patterns no longer look unusual. If you are a woman who is accomplished, capable, and ready for a version of success that is more supported, more strategic, and less quietly costly, this conversation is for you. I'm Dr. Martha Greidick, and I will be sharing more in this series of videos for high-achieving women who are ready for a more supported, more strategic, and less costly path to success. What has become normal is not always what is wise. And sometimes one of the most powerful things a woman can do is stop calling overextension strength.